Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Podium eSports coverage of the 7th race of Season 5 of the Monday Night Racing Pro Series presented by Interstate Batteries. Tonight, it's the Tufco 100 live from iRacing's virtual worldwide technology raceway in Madison, Illinois. Good evening, everyone. I am Blake McCandless, and tonight I'll be joined alongside by Jacob Hitz. Of course, we'll miss our partner here, Jacob, and Kenneth Bueno, that unfortunately wasn't able to make it out tonight, but nevertheless, we wish him well. And my goodness, Jacob, we just picked up after an absolutely wild race at Talladega last week. Anthony Alfredo getting the best of that race, but a lot happening, particularly in the last 15 or 20 laps, that made that one to remember.
Yeah, last week's race was so wild. Kenneth wanted to take a week off, right? Well, he's on vacation. We'll see him back next week when we go to Charlotte. But tonight is a little bit of a curveball. Talladega was so wild and crazy, and we go from cars that are relatively easy to drive to maybe one of the hardest car track combinations that we have on the schedule throughout the rest of the season. And we've done this car track combination once before with these super late models at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Barn burner for sure. Shane Van Gisbergen coming away with the win. He is in the field tonight. He hasn't been in the field over these last couple of weeks. He's back for the show tonight. Watch that 97 just in case. You never know when it comes down to the end of this thing. You don't have a lot of time. Only 100 laps here.
Well, Van Gisbergen trying to make it back-to-back efforts here at Gateway. It was Anthony Alfredo. He was able to go back-to-back at our pair of super speedway tracks. He won all the way back in the Sunrise 500 at Daytona and is able to get it done at Talladega. Let's take a look back and see how he did it. Your top two, a lot left to be decided. A win and a spot in the playoffs on the line. Majors rolling up to it, green flag in the air. Cook going to get a little bit of a jump. Not sure if you want that here at Talladega, but nevertheless, they'll take the green. 2 to go.
It was the same thing that happened with Shieldhouse, except just a little bit worse on the jump for the 63 of Brian Boris. Cook, it's going to help to get some help here, but the 6, a big stack up on the bottom side. It's going to allow the surge from the 75, the 24, and the 20 out of turn 2 with 2 laps to go. Ford Martin trying to make a third line happen. Olsen gets turned by Shieldhouse. He goes sideways.
Oh, they're wrecking. There goes Stolnick. He gets turned by Garrett Smithley. Malik Ray is around. Gary Sexton into the outside wall. Oh, man, a hard hit. Will Rogers clobbers nose to nose into the 98 of Presley Sora. Brett Baldeck piles in at the very end of it. Another multi-car crash down the back straightaway that all got kicked off. Man, when Nick Olsen got turned around and they just stacked up and could not get off of each other, Olsen did a great job of saving the race car, but up above him, they could not.
I can't believe that Olsen saved that as Shieldhouse looked to go to the inside, or the outside rather, of Nick Olsen. You can see it right here on the replay as Shieldhouse going to the outside, gets a little out of shape, and it's really the reaction to that. Some drivers lifting, some not. That's where you can see all the smoke come out.
Rogers, man, I don't know where he thought he was going. I mean, he ain't on board with that 55, I think. I don't know if there was a hole, but it wasn't there for very long.
Yeah, it slammed into the Tostino's Mega Pizza Roll car and practically cooked him away. And then you also see Brett Baldeck slice through the middle. That's a Adam Petty throwback. The Spree car that he ran in the Busch Series. And then Baldeck goes nose into the inside wall. There is toe link damage on the 55, I believe, on the right front. Here's a look from the Space Station Gaming. Number 55 Toyota, there goes the field. He's trying to push Sabile, then goes away. Tries to full send it through, but just cannot.
See,
the Ford Mustang of Presley Sora comes right into view.
I got it there. He saw the 7 before he saw the 98. He saw the 7, turned up the racetrack to try and avoid him, and there was the 98 in the middle of the racetrack. But, you know, they make these pedals called brakes, so that way if the track's blocked in front of you, you can stop in time. I mean, I get it. Try to get as many spots as you can when the caution comes out, right? That's what you got to do, especially, you know, he already used his fast repair, I'm pretty sure. So that doesn't help his cause at all. In fact, I think it hurts him. But, you know, part of racing at the plate tracks.
I don't know how desperate they are, but again, when the fuel window is 37 or 38 laps, and potentially they're going to go over 40 laps here on this last run, I mean, even with the fact that we have some of those cautions, that's got to be a little concerning.
Yeah, it is a little bit concerning, but I just saw the cockpit input on Landon Huffman's car, and he is indeed clutching just a little bit to what is 1997 on the revs. It is around the average RPM for these NASCAR next-gen cars, a little bit under the 2000 range, but Huffman is indeed saving for Cook and Schildhaus. Was not watching them hit the clutch in, so we're not entirely sure what the agenda is on that. Out of turn 4, pace truck lights are off. We're ready to go green.
Landon Huffman running a Huffman Racing throwback to, sure, a late model that was driven at some point at some time by the Huffman family, trying to wheel that thing to victory lane here at the virtual Talladega Superspeedway. Huffman, Cook, Schildhaus, Ford, Martin. Haven't mentioned him a ton tonight. Your top 4. Green flag back in the air. Green-white checkered attempt number 1 in the Roasted Gems Coffee 250.
Back at it again, a squirrely start from the outside, and Schildhaus immediately looked up there. They're going to block to the outside wall, including your race leader, Landon Huffman, so things shift quickly. Schildhaus says, never mind. To the inside he goes for the lead. Help from the 06 of TJ Majors, side by side for the lead to the back straightaway. Sideways with Benny Turner. Around goes Huffman, hard into the inside wall goes DJ Cummings, Adam Cabot's in it, Stephen Ellis, Roger
Clay
again.
Sexton, Chris Wilner involved in this one. A lot of guys toward the back of the field just piling in, nowhere to go. Actually, Mike Clay, he got turned, he checked up. Stephen Ellis got into the back of him and turned him into Sexton. Devin Henry, I think maybe got a piece of it, but just too aggressive coming up off the corners. And Cabot and Turner just trying to push a little too hard. Got up into poor Landon Huffman. Nowhere for him to go. DJ Cummings, he took a heck of a shot into that inside wall and then got hit. Will Rogers spun into this one. He gets another accident. I think I saw the 27, Michael Massey, get a piece of it. The 11, Steve Affont, bounced off the 75 as well. So we'll try it again. Overtime number 2.
Yeah, I mean, that was really all kind of centered around Bailey Turner from what I saw. It was kind of stacked up into the back of Brad Perez. Cabot gets into the back of him, got him out of shape. Barely tags Landon Huffman. It may have been another case where they were able to save that if Turner had just enough room to avoid hitting the 75. Unfortunately, did not. And here we go again. Adam Cabot officially given that cause of caution, giving that push to Bailey Turner. So he is going to be tagged with that, going to be put at the tail end of the field. Going to be a lot of fast repairs, I imagine, kind of being used at this time. I tell you what, DJ Cummings took a massive hit there on the inside wall. All right, pace car is off. David Schildhaus, TJ Majors, your top 2. Attempt at overtime number 2 of 3. As Schildhaus will work his way into the Geico restart zone. We'll try it once again. Do they have enough fuel to make it to the end, or does somebody else have a chance to take the victory?
Green flag gets displayed. TJ Majors follows up as Schildhaus moves up the track. Now they're going to switch places. Almost 4 wide. Boris Cook got shuffled through. He had to check up. Alfredo fills in the gap. Perez trying to give a huge shove to Schildhaus out of turn 2. Brian Boris Cook left for dead. Partis trying to give him some help. They're going to swerve to the back straightaway. It's 2 versus 3 for the race lead as Malik Ray blocks up to the wall.
Oh, and Malik Ray gets sideways. They're crashing. Charlie Brown gets turned. He hits Robbie Lyons. The big one on the back straightaway once again. Half a dozen cars, maybe more, pile in. Case Kallenbach involved. He slaps the outside wall. Seth Eggert gets a piece of that. I think, oh man, Chris Wilner involved in this one. Rajak Karuth, I think, got damaged. Leighton Sabile got turned around in that, and that all started again in the middle of the pack. Charlie Brown got a bad bump, it looks like. Actually, no. They all stacked up with the 7. And the 24 of Nick Olson came down, hit the 58, turned him around, and it was on. And we have one more shot at a green and white checker. We're using it here at Talladega.
Take a look at the replay one more time. There's obviously a lot of attention around Malik Ray trying to make a move up the middle. You see they're going to get a run on him. He's going to throw a block at Cook a little bit late. Comes back down, a little bit of contact with Partis. That gets him all jumbled up behind. And there's the aftermath. A lot happening there.
Yeah, everybody checking up 4 wide, and I mean, there's not much you can do there, especially when Malik Ray is wiggling like that. Of course, he's trying to save the race car, and then everybody's anticipation is slowing down. They're trying to find a space to go. Here's a look from Colin Fern. Right in the middle of all of it, there's the contact from Pardis. There's Charlie Brown, Robbie Lyons, and Fern barely gets through that. How many times have we talked about Colin Fern tonight? And he was multiple laps down, by the way, 2 laps down on the racetrack. With that move through the caution, he is now 11th in that 86 Skull throwback.
Raja Karuth gone home, disconnected. He will not finish this race, and I forgot it's around the cut line. That is huge for Raja Karuth. Taking a quick look, he was in the 33rd position, just 18 points above the cut line or so. Steen van Gisbergen's not here. That helps him. And Ruben Garcia not being here helps him. In fact, a lot of the guys underneath the cutoff, including Garcia and Parker Clearman, aren't here, and Ron Capps is at the back of the field. His problem right now is Mike Clay, who is the cut line, and then Eggert, TJ Majors, and Michael Massey, who are on the outside looking in.
They're going to try and race this thing out if at all possible. We're going to try to keep this thing green. And let's see what happens here. We'll go 10 laps, 12 laps actually, past the originally scheduled distance. Schulthouse, Turner, Majors, Alfredo, top 4. Green flag out. 2 laps to go here at Talladega. Schulthouse leads them to the stripe.
Schildhouse up and away. Martin is already blocking down to the inside. That is, and 1 car's to the wall. That's George Balfans Jr. More cars to the inside. Will that be a yellow? For now, it's no. They're going to check up and pretty much shuffle all throughout the Talladega Super Speedway. More cars into it. I saw Matt Stolnick around, and that's a big crash. Charlie Brown, Steve Alfont.
Trouble in. There goes Gabe Wood around. They are wrecking all over the place. It's 5 cars under a blanket for the race lead. Bailey Turner, David Schildhouse, Anthony Alfredo, TJ Majors, who may not be able to make it on fuel, and then the 53 of Justin Malillo. Are you kidding me? He's cracked the top 5. Belfon's too far back, coming to the white flag.
You're going to try to let him race this thing out. Here comes Bailey Turner. Big shove on the outside from Anthony Alfredo. You have Schildhouse and Majors down low. Fuel concerns for them. White flag in the air. Here comes a huge run from behind. George Balfan's going to shove it up the middle.
And guess who's behind him? Presley Sora. In the 98, we saw him crashing on the back straightaway earlier. Here comes Alfredo with help from the 94 to the race lead. Turner and over to go. They're 4 wide in the mid-pack. Alfredo leading them down on the back straightaway for the final time.
Malik Ray around. Turner got turned into it. Brian Vargas into the wall. Here's Leighton Sabile. He goes from 11th to the lead down to the turn number 3. Alfredo in second. Balfaz in third. Schildhouse and Will Rogers side by side for 4th. It's a charge to the finish line. Leighton Sabile out in front by 2. Here comes Alfredo.
And Sabile complete an unbelievable comeback. Alfredo to the outside. Side by side. Sabile goes low to block Belfans. He gets a run. 3 wide. Contact. Alfredo gets it done. Alfredo goes back to back on the plate tracks by 2/100ths of a second.
My pick! All right! One of us finally got one right. How about it? What a move! I thought Sabile got him with the block on Balfans here at the line. I thought that was just going to be enough. Little side draft here once they got past the restart zone. Got right down to him. Got side drafted on both sides. Alfredo pulled away and Sabile just comes up short. Balfans Jr. in third. And that is what you expect when you come to Talladega.
And that was a look at last week's race at Talladega as Anthony Alfredo joined Presley Sora. It's the only 2 drivers so far here in Season 5 that have multiple victories. And Jacob, a nice cushion to build. We unfortunately do not have Anthony Alfredo joining us tonight, but he is still in great point standings and, again, has multiple victories, so no worry about him missing tonight. He has his eyes set potentially on a championship here in Season 5.
That's right. He doesn't have to be here. It's not crucial that he is here. There you see the points. Sora in front of Alfredo the way points stand right now. And Presley Sora, of course, he is in the session right now. He sits P4 on the board in practice. Then he got Bickford with his win back at Watkins Glen. Cannon with his win at Eldora. And I have a feeling tonight, Blake, that we're going to add a fifth driver to that list who has won a race in the regular season and will lock themselves in to the Season 5 playoffs. And we are closing in on the cutoff for the playoffs. We've only got 2 races to go before the playoffs are set. Next week at Charlotte, we have the week off of the 4th of July, and then we come back July 11th and run the trucks at Michigan, and that's the cutoff. So we are out of time. If you're on the outside looking in and you need a win, you're a guy like Raja Karuth and you're way back there in points, you've got 3 shots to win, and if you miss a race, you're really in trouble. So you have to be perfect these next 3 weeks. If you want to have a shot and you're too far out to point your way in, you got to win yourself in these last 3 races.
Well, and I know looking at that points graphic a little bit earlier, the amount of changing around that cut line, that 13th spot around where Brad Perez currently occupies, it has changed significantly since we looked at that last week. You saw a lot of names like Landon Huffman, who was in last week. You don't even see him on the graphic right now. So we have had a lot of shifting over the course of the last day, or the last race, rather, in terms of being around that cut line. You can see it is not a whole lot of points between Adam Cabot, who would be the first driver in without a victory, and Stephen Ellis just 14 points back, who was on the outside looking in. So each of these 3 races going to be crucial for these drivers to pick up every single point that they can. Because of the amount of multiple and repeat winners we've had this year, they're going to be plenty of spots for drivers to lock in on points as well. So each race, every single start, every point going to matter significantly. Oh, there is a drop in Monday Night Racing, but you cannot drop the last race before that playoff. That is worth noting as well. Well, of course, every single week we get to kind of look behind the curtain, behind the scenes at one of our Monday Night Racing Pro Series drivers. And this week, Devin Henry was able to catch up with Matt Stallnecht.
A 2-time winner in Monday Night Racing. It is our own professional odds maker, essentially trying to make it back to the playoffs here in season number 5. Matt Stallnecht out here trying to win your way back in after a couple of wins already in Monday Night Racing. But you've been around the block a little bit in terms of what you do, props, bets, with NASCAR, with other groups. What exactly do you do in the racing industry?
Well, so I worked in the racing industry for about 5 years, actually. My time at NASCAR was split up between working on their marketing and communications team, basically kind of helping manage the business narrative around the sport, kind of drive more positivity around the sport. It was so cool to see that, you know, I was able to take something that I was so passionate about and kind of be able to immerse myself in it for, you know, a pretty large chunk of my 20s. And then the last year or so that I was there, I actually moved into a pretty different role when I was at NASCAR, and I worked on our sports betting partnerships. Just recently, I started off with this new job with Tufco Sportsbook. And I'm one of their business development managers over there. I have just always loved having a little bit more of an attachment to what's happening on screen. I just like, whether it's like pools with friends and fantasy, I just always loved kind of having that personal attachment to what's going on the screen. You know, I was the kid in middle school and high school that was setting up fantasy leagues, but I'm not a professional odds maker. I definitely want to make that part clear. As much as I love sports betting, you don't probably want me setting any odds.
Where did that want to be a part of NASCAR start for you and it becoming your passion in motorsports?
I first started following the sport when I was probably about 4. My dad was working at Kellogg's cereal company at the time when I was just like a little kid. And at the time, Terry Labonte was the driver of the number 5 Kellogg's car. And he was going to races as part of the sponsorship that Kellogg's had at the time. And, you know, he'd come back, tell me these cool stories about these races that he was going to. And as I got older, as we talk about sim racing, like I think the sim racing element is probably a huge reason I probably got amplified into the sport and really amped up my interest in it as I got older.
What makes you you? Who is Matt Stolnick?
I would say, look, I'm definitely a very competitive person at heart. I think I put a lot of myself into just kind of being and doing the best at everything that I can do, whether that be, in my career. My career is ridiculously important to me, and wanting to just show up every day and do great and help grow businesses. And, obviously you want to do great as, a friend and a family member. So somebody that just likes enjoying his time with the people close to him, I would say is a huge part of who I am. And then beyond that, I'm a huge hobbyist. I'm always just looking at ways to stay active and, just, it always kind of comes back to competitive outlets for me, for better or worse. I would say those are probably the biggest things that drive me.
As always, a wonderful job there by Devin Henry. As we get to know Matt Stolnick a little bit, we have him on hand right now as we are just moments away from getting qualifying rolled off. So, Matt, first off, we'll ask you about tonight. How are things feeling running this car, the super late model at Worldwide Technology Raceway? How are things looking for tonight?
Yeah, I feel really good about tonight's race. I think it's going to be super competitive. Just the way this combo races, it definitely is going to reward drivers with good who are good under braking. That first turn going into one, you really kind of have to drift in the car up the racetrack and catching it and shifting. So it's a lot of fun behind the wheel, and I think it's going to make for a good race tonight. And I feel really good. Been turning good laps and gotten a lot of practice in this week, so I'm feeling good for tonight.
One other question I have to ask you. I could see what's on in the background. Are you able to listen at all to the broadcast while you're driving, or is that something you kind of keep up as a reference?
I keep the volume down. Like if I took my headset off, I could hear it. But I like actually being able to turn to see like cautions and see like wrecks that happen and whatnot on replay during yellows. So it's a lot. It's useful from the driver's seat, and I think you guys do a great job. So it's good to keep it on in the background.
I was about to say, so if you run into the back of somebody under caution, we know you're probably looking over your back of your shoulder.
Correct. It's just because I'm an avid fan of Podium eSports.
There you go. Well, at least we'll consider that a compliment, Matt. But all right, looking towards the end of this season, you sit right now just 6 points above that playoff cut line. So what's kind of the mentality going into these next three races? There's not a lot of them left. What are you thinking about kind of heading into these last couple of moments to try and qualify for that playoff?
Hang on, I'm just like muting the admin there.
Sorry, yeah, it's Ford. You can turn him down. Turn him off.
had to mute Ford so I could hear you guys. But no, it's good. I think the next couple races to the end of this season, it's going to be all about just consistency. So I'm not trying to, I think I've gotten myself into problems in this part of the season in the past. And, I don't want to do that. I want to make sure I'm just getting good finishes, top 10s, top 5s. These are good tracks for me coming up. So I feel really good about it. And it's just about not making mistakes. We're all too bunched together. And all it was going to take is for one guy to either miss a race or have a really bad finish. And they're going to be pretty much out of it. So I think you got to focus on minimizing mistakes as opposed to just going out and trying to just get that lock-in win. Certainly be great if we could get it. But, going to be focused on consistency.
And consistency should be the name of the game here late in the going. Well, Matt, we appreciate your time. I know you got, I think, a minute and a half until we roll off for qualifying, so I'll let you get back after, get another lap or two, and we wish you the best of luck tonight.
Appreciate it, guys.
Matt Stolnick, appreciate him taking the time out as well. He'll work his way back to the driver's seat for qualifying. And real quick here, Jacob, why don't we go ahead and release our picks for the night? Before we get rolling off here and qualifying gets started, I'll turn the mantle over to you because unfortunately Kenneth is not here. I'm sure his pick would outpick whoever we would select. But all right, Jacob, go ahead.
What? Hold on a second. Whose pick won last week? Just saying. I don't know if it'll happen again tonight. I'm going again solely based off paint scheme. I did it last week and it worked. I saw him post the car on Twitter, and I was very surprised to see that paint scheme, but I was like, oh, yeah, that one's pretty good. I'm going with driver number 1. Give me Gary Sexton. When we did this one time before, a year ago tomorrow, in Season 3 we ran here, yeah, Shane Van Gisbergen won the race. Gary Sexton finished 7th in that race. I like his odds tonight. Yeah, he's sitting in P14 right now, but it's a long race. If he can keep that thing clean, I like Gary Sexton's shot to go to victory lane.
All right, so Gary Sexton, not a bad pick. Where he sits in the standings right now, currently P6, I have to agree, Jacob. It's not a bad pick for sure. As far as my pick for tonight, and I actually changed it at the last minute once I saw this driver load into the session. I'm going to go with TJ Majors. Call it my DBC pick, if you will. Seeing Majors load in late in a situation where he really needs to win to have an opportunity to even think about qualifying for the playoffs, I'm going TJ Majors tonight to take the victory. You can see his stats pulling up right there. Hasn't turned a lot of laps with us in Season 5, but that doesn't mean he is not a threat to win each and every time that he comes out here at Gateway. So TJ Majors, my pick to win tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway. When we come back, the Tufco 100 is next, live on Podium eSports.
Visit our website at tufcoflooring.com.
This is an Interstate battery. More pros trust this than any other out there. Yeah, more pros. More. Even more pros. Keep going, Moss. Look, we're gonna run out of time before we run out of pros who like Interstate. I mean, we'll run out of time before we even run out of left-handed pros who knit. These pros are everywhere, which means so is this battery. Right around the corner, up the street, everywhere. Interstate batteries, outrageously dependable.
Ready to get rolling here in just a couple of moments for tonight's running of the Tufco 100. Super late models ready to tackle this beautiful facility here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. And Jacob, why don't you walk us through the track that these drivers will be trying to figure out tonight? It's a difficult one.
It's a goofy little racetrack here in Madison, Illinois. There's no doubt about it. It's egg-shaped. It's almost, in a sense, like Darlington, where it's not a complete, perfect oval. It's got two completely different sections of the racetrack. Banking in turn 1 and 2 is 11 degrees. In turns 3 and 4, it's a little bit flatter. It's down to 9 degrees. So you can't drive the corners the same way. You're driving them differently on different ends of the racetrack. This track opened back in 1995, just about, well, it's a mile and a quarter, basically, here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. And, of course, you've got pit road speed, 45 mile an hour, and it's asphalt. It's not concrete by any means like we're in Nashville or something. It's all asphalt, I would say relatively like normal, but, you know, there are a couple of oddballs in there that do run concrete.
Certainly so, and heck, even a couple of times this year, we've seen dirt, we've seen drivers driving through grass, turf, I think just about everything that you can name here in the Monday Night Racing Pro Series presented by Interstate Batteries. But before we get tonight's festivities going, let us take pause and honor God and country with the playing of our national anthem. Thank you very much. As the drivers have completed their qualifying laps, and the BST Shock starting grid will be set like this. The winner of the Roasted Gems Coffee Pole Award tonight, somebody awfully familiar with these cars, Landon Huffman, 33.456 seconds around this Worldwide Technology Raceway, goes to the top spot. And Jacob, we were talking about this, an interesting front row. You know, there's a little bit of beef here between Landon Huffman and James Bickford, who will line up in second. He trailed Huffman by just 4 1/1000ths of a second for that Roasted Gems Coffee Pole Award. Adam Cabot, your Season 4 champion, will line up in the third spot. Garrett Smithley will be to his outside in row number 2 for Rick Ware Racing. Ryan Vargas for the Charlotte Phoenix will start in P5. Leighton Sabile, very strong run last week. He will start in the 6th position. Matt Stallneck, you heard from him earlier. He is going to start in the 7th position. Gabe Wood, quarter panel number on that car. He is going to start in 8th, that white and pink machine. Representing Toby Christie, going to be David Schildhouse rolling off from 9th, and Will Rogers will round out your top 10.
Rolling off in the 11th spot, Nick Olson in that 24 Max Kennan will be on his outside. Rajah Caruth, he's running somewhere different. I heard him say before the race started that his internet was having issues, so he's running from a different location than normal. Presley Sora, the 2-time winner this season, lining up on the outside. Bailey Turner, one of the Cabot eSports drivers, in 15th with Brad Perez starting on the outside. Ford Martin and Brian Boris Cook in row number 9, and rounding out the top 20, Robbie Lyons and, hey, my pick, Gary Sexton.
Gary Sexton will start 20th now. In 21st, officially, it will be scored as TJ Majors. He will have to serve a penalty going to the tail end of the field for failing to basically register and let everybody know that he was going to be running tonight. So he will go to the end of the field. George Ballfans Jr. will start in 22nd. 23rd will go to the 58 of Charlie Brown. Justin Malillo, looking to stay inside that cut line in the playoffs, will roll off from the 24th spot. 25th will go to Seth Eggert. Joshua Slate will start on his outside in 26th. 27th goes to Michael Massey. Good to see Noah Lewis out after a little bit of a hiatus there in 28th. Dakota Curtis will start in 29th, and Mike Clay out of ESPN will start in 30th.
31st, Steve Lafont. Devin Henry lines up on the outside in 32nd. Brett Baldeck and Case Kalabach will line up in row number 17. And at the back of the field, Paul Sutton, he made a mistake. He's not racing, but it's Shane Van Gisbergen, shotgun in the field, the winner a season or 2 seasons ago here. He's going to try the back-to-front challenge, and of course he'll have 3 drivers starting behind him after they drop to the back. The 06 of TJ Majors, or 6 of TJ Majors, the 43 of Leighton Sabile, and the 60 of Brad Perez. They'll start at the back behind the driver of the 97. Beautiful night for a race here at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Air temperature and track temperature exactly the same for the most part, and both temperatures are going to continue to drop as the night goes on, so the grip should increase a little bit. Pretty windy though, just about 14-mile-an-hour winds coming out of the southeast.
And those winds definitely going to play a number in changing the handling of these race cars, particularly off of 1 and 2. We've seen a number of drivers in practice give a little bit of a slide off of turn 2, get a little bit loose. As you see our race analysis right there, fuel load going to be the same as it typically is. No limit on your set of tires. 1 fast repair, as always, in your back pocket, and a potential 3 attempts at green, white, checkered overtime. Pace truck going to dive to the safety of pit lane, and the field will be in the hands of your Roasted Gems Coffee Pole Award winner. Landon Huffman out of Claremont, North Carolina, will get us started. Not so great of a jump there for the 75, though. Green flag is out, and we are racing in the Tufco 100. Off of turn number 4, side by side for the race lead, and lap number 1, give it to James Bickford, who already has a race win earlier this year. Remember, these two tangled at Eldora, so interesting scenario here as Huffman runs Bickford up the racetrack. Garrett Smithley has settled into third, but this battle for the lead has not ceased, and now Huffman able to clear James Bickford going into turn number 3.
Josh Mendoza, our race admin, back this week. He says the restart is under review, or that initial start is under review. We'll see if there's any ruling on that, if it's going to send anybody to the back. But I tell you what, Landon Huffman had a heck of a time getting into turn number 1. He made it work by the time he got to the next straightaway, though. Retakes the lead. Good little battle forming way behind them. Will Rogers in the 55, Gabe Wood in the 50. And they're stacking up behind him. Matt Stallneck back there as well with Max Cannon and others.
Well, I tell you what, James Bickford got a little bit of a support system, got somebody sitting right behind him. That's a little bit different than what you typically see in a race car. Laser focus right there, not even blinking an eye as they'll work off of turn number 4. Good run for the 29. He's going to duck to the inside, still side by side. Up front for your race lead, Bickford on the bottom, Landon Huffman on the top. Almost contact made as Bickford trying to stick his nose down there and make a run, but it looks like Huffman able to hold him off for the time being.
And you don't think Landon's driving him even harder after what happened at Eldora a couple of weeks ago, do you? He's not playing mind games with Bickford or anything, especially early on. You've got 100 laps in this thing. It's lap 4, and you're driving the wheels off each other right now. And Garrett Smithley, he's probably just sitting back there saying, yeah, go ahead, take each other out. I'll take the lead.
Sure enough, and you know, actually Landon Huffman, I heard from him earlier today. He said, if I don't win tonight, I might just be done for the season. That is how confident he is in this car, this track. This is right up his wheelhouse, running this super late model. So very confident coming into tonight to try and take down the victory. But I tell you what, Garrett Smithley has not let these top 2 check out. Neither has Ryan Vargas. You can see on board with the number 6 machine right now. Dark room that he's racing from, but nevertheless, highly focused there for Ryan Vargas in that number 6 machine.
Got to invest in a light for something, or maybe after he wins if he wins the race, maybe he can go get a light or something. The restart, all good, no penalties, so we keep on racing, and we've gotten strung out here at the front, but in the back of the pack, they're coming down the back straightaway, and they're just making moves 2, 3 wide. Back here, Justin Melillo, George Balfans Jr. is back here, Kennan, Josh Slate just centered on the bottom underneath Robbie Lyons. And the 53 of Justin Melillo, he goes all the way up to the wall. He got a lot of good racing back from 20th on back.
Yeah, it's the best battles going on right now on the racetrack around Justin Melillo. Max Kinnon, who, of course, already has a win this season, ducking right back in line behind him. This is off the nose of Leighton Sabile, who, mind you, was penalized at the beginning of the race. You can see Melillo getting a little bit loose off the corner right there, but Sabile wasting no time after starting at the tail end, has already moved up to about the 20th position. And there you see the focus from Justin Melillo as he tries to maneuver his traction machine Chevrolet just off the corners of 3 and 4. A lot of concentration it takes here because of this unique racetrack, Jacob.
It's hard to drive. The setup is hard to drive here. So with that combination already, just the track car combo, it's tough. The setup makes it even tougher for these guys. So they have to stay focused for these 100 laps. Otherwise, just takes one mistake and you could wind up being around in the wall and dragging some other people with you. And he mentioned Leighton Sabile there in that 19th spot, by far the biggest mover of the race so far. In fact, out of everybody that started out back, he's definitely the furthest one that's gotten up there. Brad Perez, he's back in 22nd. Shane Van Gisbergen is 27th, and TJ Majors 28th. So those 4 that were in the back, they have started to make their way through the field, but Leighton Sabile has been able to slice through like crazy. Michael Massey, he's dropped out with some connection issues. Hopefully he can get that fixed and come back.
You know, I tell you what, I don't know what Schoenhaus was smiling about there, but he looked awfully happy with his race car. He's already moved up a couple of positions up to P6 after starting in 9th here as they start lap number 10 right now. So getting close to not even a 10th of the way through this race, and looks like David Schoenhaus sitting there pretty right there in that 6th spot. Hasn't necessarily had the luck that he had in Season 4. I was talking to him a couple weeks ago, as we now have a battle up front for the race lead, side by side. Bickford looks like he may have it here towards the stripe. Give it back to Landon Huffman, but these last couple of laps, Bickford slowly reeling in that 75 car. Huffman trying to take away that racing line and make it difficult for him, but Bickford hanging tough there on the bottom.
Yeah, Bickford just a hair faster that last time by. We'll see what the lap time show when they come back around. And now Landon takes the defensive line, tries to break the draft a little bit, goes to the bottom, just trying to seal the door, basically, and keep that 29 in his rearview mirror. I think Bickford may have another shot of it here off the corner. Out trouble! Vargas into the wall! He's around! Shieldhouse hits him! Adam Cabot hits him! Caution is out as Ryan Vargas gets a little too high, wide, and handsome, bounces it off the edge of the safer barrier, and goes for a wild ride on the front straightaway. He got clipped by both Cabot and Shieldhouse, each on the right front. A little bit of damage for Vargas as well, especially on the right side of his number 6 machine. The last time he drove this car, he took it to victory lane at Nashville. A rough start for the driver of the 6.
And a self-inflicted wound right there for Ryan Vargas, and you nailed it on that description. Just got a little bit tight off the corner. They like to hang the right rear out on these cars. Coming out of turn number 4, you see right there, right rear contact the outside wall, and upsets that race car enough. Actually jumps it into the air a couple of feet, spins him around, and like you mentioned, 2 more getting involved in that was Adam Cabot, who of course had nowhere to go. We'll see what the damage looks like. You saw it on board right there. David Shieldhouse has quite a bit of damage to the right front fender of his Toby Christie Xyloware Chevrolet. We'll see it one more time here on this replay, and you know, I wonder if Huffman was kind of swerving there. There is that opening on the back straightaway here at Gateway, not quite up to spec with what they have in real life. Maybe you can try to get somebody to hit that opening. I'm definitely not saying whether I've tried to do that a time or two. As you see Adam Cabot there, a little more damage on the nose of his car.
We got some interesting strategy as far as pit road. Bickford stays out. Landon Huffman comes in. It's pretty split. The back half of the field coming down onto pit road. A lot of the leaders staying out, with the exception of Huffman, Vargas, who was involved in the wreck, Brian Boris Cook, George Belfans Jr.'s on pit road. But you've got guys like Bickford, Smithley, Cabot, Shieldhouse, all staying out on the racetrack. So Cabot and Shieldhouse, they clearly think that damage isn't too bad because they're not getting it looked at. They're just staying out on the racetrack.
And actually, while we have a moment, why don't we talk to Ryan Vargas here for a quick moment. Ryan, what happened there off of turn number 4?
Man, I just got tight. I'm trying to see where the leader is, if you could keep me updated while I do this. But yeah, I just got tight out of 4. I knew I was going to scrape it. I didn't anticipate it spinning the car like that. So, I mean, it is what it is. The car's fine, though. I mean, it only had 40 seconds of damage. I'm about to pull out of the box right now.
I was about to say they're coming around a pit entry just about.
Yes, but this one, Security Chevy's fast. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm sure this race will turn a little crazy there. Just a mistake. I mean, you'll have that sometimes, and that was one of them.
Were you able to get all the damage fixed, or is there still a little bit left?
Yeah, all the damage is fixed. I didn't take tires, so I may be eating those words here, but I feel like as long as I could just keep her on the lead lap for the time being, I should be in a pretty decent spot. I don't think I'll be in any worried of getting lapped. Like I said, I feel like I have plenty of speed, so it's just, you know, recovering. Yeah, like I said, you'll just get those mistakes sometimes, and that was one of them.
Yeah, well, you got a long time to make it up. Just a little over 85 laps to try and make your way back forward. So we'll let you get back after it. Look forward to seeing that number 6 back up front here, hopefully.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And Ryan Vargas involved in an incident here to bring out the first caution flag of the evening here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. But very optimistic there, Jacob. It doesn't sound like he's too down on himself. Made a little bit of a mistake, but is pretty confident that he won't be in the back for a very long time.
Well, and if he saw the progress that some of those faster cars were making, like Leighton Sabile, like Brad Perez, like Shane Van Gisbergen, then I don't think he really does have to worry. He's going to be able to cut his way through the field and be done with it. It's also early on enough in the race where, you know, he can dig himself out of the mistake. If it was with 15 to go instead of lap 15, that's a different scenario. But because we're so early on in this race, he's got the time to claw his way up through the field and get the job done. So I can understand the no worry for Ryan Vargas at this point.
And also, like you said at the beginning of that caution, a big split in drivers that elected to come down and drivers who stayed out. You saw your leader, Landon Huffman, gave up the race lead. He's going to restart in about, let's see, timing and scoring says he's in the 17th position right now. Everybody in front of him stayed out. So there's a little bit of a split here, a little bit of indecision in terms of what you want to do exactly with fuel. They have 16.5 gallons of a fuel cell here tonight. So doubt that you'd be able to make that on one, whether you pit or not, you're going to have to come down and at least make one more stop. But perhaps a little bit of a strategy call here. Don't believe he took tires either. Didn't see the right side get jacked up, or maybe he took 2 tires and fuel. So I
would think with it just 8 seconds, that should just be fuel. But I don't know. We'll see. Now, we did mention it's not 100% fuel tanks. It's 75% for these race cars, so not a full fuel load.
And it definitely changes things up. Green flag back out in the air. James Bickford. David.
Oh, trouble! Gary Sexton's in the inside wall. Big crash on the restart. One car upside down. It's George Balfans Jr. Justin Malillo is around. One car parked up against the outside wall. It's the 75 of Landon Huffman. The 6 of TJ Majors is around. Brian Boris Cook involved. And George Balfans Jr. wound up on his lid. It was a huge stack up, I think, right around 10th. Let's take a look at the replay. It's contact. Matt Stolnick. 2 different wrecks. And Ford Martin got in the back of Gary Sexton.
At least what I can see, and again, Gateway, a very difficult track for restarts because of how flat it is. You don't have a great line of vision. Where I see all of that stack up is around the Bailey Turner area, Matt Stolnick area. It looked like Gabe Wood was a little bit slow getting on the gears, just didn't get a great launch. Turner and Stolnick make contact, and that's kind of where everything happens. You could see, yeah, that big stack up right there that kind of happens in front. Gabe Wood falls back. Not a great start for the 50. Turner runs into the back of him, and then it is on from there. Golly, you can see well after the wreck, George Balfans Jr. getting turned. And, of course, here at Gateway, Jacob, this kind of reminds me of Dover a little bit. You see the inside and outside retaining walls. There's not a lot of room to go when stuff starts to go wrong here, so not a whole lot of room, and a number of cars get wrapped up in this one.
It's just a hair wider than Indianapolis, but with that inside wall being so close to the racetrack, you're right. You really have nowhere to go if things go wrong on that front straightaway. That 2010 Xfinity Series finish that we had here when Carl Edwards and Brad Keselowski made contact, that was just a fixture of the track is so narrow, you cannot avoid a car that's sitting in the middle of the racetrack that's wrecked.
It's hard to do for sure, as I'm trying to just catch up on how many cars got some pretty significant damage out of that one. You saw Balfans Jr. get turned there late. Joshua Slate, George Balfans Jr., Justin Malillo, Brian Boris Cook, Noah Lewis. It looks like TJ Majors kind of almost went to the go-kart track here at Gateway to miss a little bit. Almost got sent down there, but it looks like his Valvoline Ford not too worse for the wear. But that's also kind of the other side of this, Jacob, that you take the risk of pitting back there. You get you lose a lot of your track position, and that's where some drivers like Bickford, like Smithley, Schoedhouse, they come out of the better end of this one. They get to keep that track position and not get involved in any of that.
Well, and I heard Landon Huffman right away after the caution came out say some things that were not safe for air, followed by can't restart. So I'm not sure. I don't think he was too happy with the fact that they made it about 200 feet before they started piling them on up. But I think we're going to get a chance to talk with the guy that wound up on his top, George Balfans Jr. George, what in the world happened?
I I don't know. I saw my spotter called that the track was blocked, and I got out of the gas and just lightly, got into the brake, and then somebody ran into the back of me, and then I just kept getting plowed into. So I don't think it's just a little bit too much impatience to begin with, and I'm guessing somebody missed a shift, but we got our damage fixed, so still got the faster pair, still got both sets of tires. Still a long ways to go, so I think we'll be okay.
Saving that faster pair for later. Do you think you're going to need it either to fix this damage or if you get involved in another wreck?
You know what? If I'm going to need it, it's because I'm pushing my way to the front, and that's why. Hopefully we don't know.
Nonetheless, best of luck, George. We'll see you at the end of this deal.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
George Belfans Jr. upside down after that last crash. EOL for Charlie Brown, failing to slow down for the caution. So he will start at the back of the field on the restart. Faster pair update quickly here, Blake. As you heard, George Belfans Jr., he held on to his guys that used theirs. Bailey Turner, Gary Sexton, TJ Majors. Everybody else still has the faster pair in the back pocket.
Yeah, still trying to hang on to that here on lap 20. And again, no cause of caution deemed on that one as far as the stack up and the restart is concerned. But yes, it was Charlie Brown failing to slow for the caution that will get tagged for an end of longest line penalty. Nothing further on our second caution of the evening. That's a well-debated topic right now in the driver chat, but guess what? We got to go green. Pace truck going to pull off. Bickford, Smithley, Schildhouse, and Adam Cabot, your top four. Let's see if this one goes a little bit smoother, as it looks like they worked their way into the next move Columbus restart zone. A great launch there for Bickford, blocking further back in the field as Will Rogers threw a nasty one on Presley Sora for around that 8th spot, but looks like they escape out of it so far, so clean off of turn 2.
Yeah, we didn't really get a chance to talk about it because of that early caution there, but we've got some new drivers up toward the front of the field after the shuffling of who pitted and who did not. You got Garrett Smithley still in second, Cabot third, Schildhouse fourth, Raja Caruth in fifth. Gabe Wood has cracked the top 10, as well as, remember him, the 43 of Leighton Sabile. He is now in the 9th spot, side by side with Gabe Wood, with Presley Sora and Will Rogers battling right in front of him.
I tell you what, Sabile has done a spectacular job of putting on some shows here in Monday Night Racing as of late. Was thrilling to watch that 43 car last week at Talladega, and is doing a great job here. That starting 6th, that's a little deceiving. He actually was put at the tail end of the field after qualifying, as somebody is going to get turned. That is Ford Martin in 3 and 4. Contact made, and Martin looks like he gets away unscathed, but blocking, and somebody got into him, and it looked like that was Shane Van Gisbergen as they worked down the back straightaway. Watch that bright green 11 car, the 07, going to make a little bit of contact into turn number 3. And you'll see the aftermath right there. You see SVG thinks he's there. Martin tries to shut the door, but a nice job there by Martin locking her down, and the rest of the field looks like they're going to avoid contact with Ford Martin, as that is caution flag number 3 of the night.
That was a bold strategy by Ford, thinking that was going to work. Trying to block Gisbergen. It's lap 23. I don't know if you need to be blocking that early, but man, oh man, he threw a heck of a block on SVG for that, and I don't know if he should really be surprised that that's what he got in return. If I threw a block on SVG at any point in the race, I would kind of expect getting turned for it. So here we are.
I wouldn't be surprised either. And by the way, let's see if maybe we can't get a quick word in here with Ford Martin regarding that incident. A nice job there for Martin to collect it up. But Ford, I'll just ask you bluntly, what happened there getting into turn 3?
I mean, honestly, I thought we would kind of give each other a little more room. I know it was a hard block, but, you know, part of it. But, you know. So I'm trying to make sure I don't take any tires here. I mean, I thought I had a, you know, I thought he would cut me a brake. He didn't. And I tried to lay off the gas as much as I could. And he kind of drove it in a little harder. But whatever, it's just racing. No problem. we'll just go back and get him from the rear.
All right, Ford, we'll let you get back after it, fix up that 07, and hope to see you back up front.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that is Ford Martin, the owner, president, CEO, whatever you want to call him here at Monday Night Racing. Sounds like a racing incident, just hard racing between him and SVG. When we come back, more of the Tufco 100 right after this.
This is an Interstate battery. More pros trust this than any other out there. Yeah, more pros. More. Even more pros. Keep going. Moss. Look, we're gonna run out of time before we run out of pros who like Interstate. I mean, we'll run out of time before we even run out of left-handed pros who knit. These pros are everywhere, which means so is this battery. Right around the corner, up the street. Everywhere. Interstate batteries. Outrageously dependable.
Visit our website at tufcoflooring.com.
Back with you here of live flag-to-flag coverage of the Monday Night Racing Pro Series presented by Interstate Batteries. Blake McCandless, Jacob Hitz on the call with you tonight from the Worldwide Technology Raceway. Our production team of Ryan Bauer down in the virtual production trailer. Cameras provided by Dougie Beard. And, of course, we have Derek Watson and Nicholas Weatherby doing some work behind the scenes for us. We appreciate that as a little bit of a start, Jacob, where we had some had a long green flag run there for a little bit, and since that first caution flag, it has shaken up the running order a little bit, and just trying to find some footing here with a really tough combination at a really tough racetrack.
Yeah, and we've had a couple of more folks decide to pit under this caution flag, among them Landon Huffman, Shane Van Gisbergen, Matt Stolnick, Seth Eggert, Devin Henry, Justin Melillo, Charlie Brown, Steve Affont, Brett Baldeck, Case Kallenbach, all coming in under this caution flag. We still have 12 drivers. The top 13, with the exception of Ryan Vargas, have not yet pitted. Vargas pitted under that first caution, so Slate and Robbie Lyons, and then the top 10 have yet to make any sort of pit stop yet.
And right now, they get the benefit of track position, but you never know when perhaps fuel or the tires could come into play. You have to imagine at some point you'll want a fresh set of Hoosier tires there. Green flag back in the air as they work their way with James Bickford leading the way towards turn one. Smithley Cabot with a little bit of damage, but not slowing down that 17 at all, is able to scurry away. David Schoenhaus right behind him. Trouble in the back of the field.
Dakota Curtis around, Justin Melillo involved in it, and what in the world? Well, this was an interesting one. Shane Van Gisbergen's back in the spotlight. Right on board with Dakota Curtis. That green car is SVG. He turns dead left. He sends it in there. Boom, around he goes. Landon Huffman barely got into the back of the 45 then and really finished him off, but a little too low to send it, maybe?
Yeah, it was a little late. You see the late move right there. I mean, his left side tires are on the rumble strips down there, so it's about as low as possible. But if you have to go that low to make the corner, I don't know. Interesting one right there as second incident, at least involved, of the night there for that number 11 machine. We'll await official word from race control on the official cause of caution, or if there will be one, if that's just a racing deal. You saw Huffman right there, as you mentioned, just get into the back of Dakota Curtis and turn Curtis around in the back of the field. And we will try to get it going once again.
Justin Malilla was not very happy after that crash. I think he said that he's hit just about everyone and everything in the field so far throughout these first 4 cautions. It's been a rough night for the driver, the 53. And that one just an innocent bystander. Again, he turns dead left all the way onto the grass, and he can't get away from it. He still gets involved in it. Just wrong place, wrong time.
We'll see. Speaking of wrong place, wrong time, Dakota Curtis, any warning there on what happened right there in front of you?
No, just got sent 4 wide going into corner 1 or 3 wide or whatever it was, but it was just, I don't know what happened there. It was sending it to too many cars in one place at one time is pretty much what happened. So we'll hopefully get back up there and avoid some wrecks and get back up to the front somehow. So.
All right, it looked like the car wasn't too scratched up. Any damage there?
We only had 10 seconds, so pretty good. Didn't have to use a fast repair, so.
All right, keeping that in the back pocket. We know that's important. We'll let you get back after it. Thanks for talking to us.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Dakota Curtis off of pit road, now on the access road, looking to catch back up to the rest of the field. As we are under what is now, count me if I'm wrong, Jacob, our 4th caution of the night, I believe.
I'm counting 4. So let's call it 4.
Getting confirmation, it is 4th, so my count is correct. As we work lap number 31. Again, we ran about the first, let's call it 12 or so laps under green. And since then, it's been a little bit of a struggle to try and get things going. After that first round of pit stops, about half the field stayed out, half the field came down. And since then, all the drivers that pitted have been trying to figure things out, but have had a tough time doing it.
Yeah, and we'll kind of just have to see what happens here. If we can get a longer green flag run, I think that would be really something interesting for these guys, just because you'd have the guys that haven't pitted yet that may have to pit under green if we go long enough. And then you have the guys that have already pitted that are in the back of the field that are going to try and just claw their way up through.
I'd like to see that strategy play out as well, as we, of course, want to again extend our thank yous to Interstate Batteries for their support of this Monday Night Racing Pro Series presented by Interstate Batteries. Built to top industry standards, Interstate Batteries has been the technician's choice for 9 years and counting. Powered by a distributor network of 300 wholesale warehouses and backed up by more than 150,000 dealers around the world, as well as 200 all Battery Center franchise stores, Interstate seeks to deliver the most trustworthy source of power to the world every single day. Interstate Batteries, outrageously dependable. As it looks like the pace truck, the lights are off. And just in a moment, we will work their way into the BST shocks, or excuse me, the next move Columbus restart zone. Bickford, Smithley, Cabot, Schildhouse, not much of a change up front here in your top 4. However, right behind him, Raja Caruth, somebody that I think we thought we'd be talking more about at this stage of the season. Has missed a couple of races, but good to see him back up front in M&R where he belongs. Green flag back out. Bickford, another great launch for car number 29. A little bit of a stack up, though, behind Adam Cabot into turn number 1.
And they're going to make it work all the way down through the corner, at least for now. And I'd watch out for that 13 car. If he can get himself up to the front, he ran troubles. There goes Leighton Sabile around. Down the back straightaway, down to the inside wall. There is no caution because he's off the racing surface. They are 3 and 4 wide heading down into turn number 3. Back with the 5 of Bailey Turner and the 95 of Noah Lewis. They get it sorted out. I want to take a look and see what happened to Leighton Sabile, because next thing I knew, he was just dead sideways, and it was contact with Raja Caruth. He turned across his front bumper.
We'll get a replay right here, and I think this is just simply not clear from the 43. Looked to try and get a run and make it 3 wide, and unfortunately Raja's nose was underneath that 43. Does a great job keeping it out of the wall. Is obviously off the racing surface, so we stay green, but I think that's just a classic case of Sabile trying to make a move. Raja was down there. Really nothing that Caruth could have done to avoid that, as we stay under green through this portion. Caruth able to rebound and move ahead of Adam Cabot there for 4th. Sora trying to do the same.
Yeah, he's just clawing his way up to the front. And as I mentioned, he ran in the Truck Series race, driving for Spire Motorsports in the 7 truck, and had a pretty good run, all things considered, finishing 11th. And I know he said, I was disappointed finishing in 11th. He thought he could finish inside the top 10, well inside the top 10. And that's just part of the competitive fight that Raja Caruth has. He thinks he can go out there and win in just about anything and everything. As Noah Lewis is stopped in turn 3, he went around. He's got a lot of damage. He got turned by the 21 of Max Cannon, and then it was Shane Van Gisbergen that finished him off. That was in the background, back around the 17th, 16th position. But he gets it rolling, and he is, well, severely damaged now from where he was earlier, but he's still got the car rolling.
Another car into the outside wall is Steve Affont, who tagged the outside wall into turn 3. It looks like he got really loose and made contact there with Leighton Sabile. And Affont trying to gather it back up, so a lot of contact going on all over the place, but not anything that is going to warrant a caution flag. Affont over the radio very upset with Sabile. Michael Massey right now right in front of your or at least a lot of your front runners here. Caruth trying to get out of the way, and he's going to get turned by Shieldhouse, and the rest of the field is going to pile in. Michael Massey well off the pace, tried to get out of the way, but did it in the racing line. Shieldhouse had nowhere to go, ran into the back of him, and the rest of the field off of turn number 4. Precarious spot to make that happen. Nick Olson, Gabe Wood, Ryan Vargas into the outside wall. And the caution is out. You see Massey loses a ton of speed, is trying to get out of the way, try to pull to the inside and let everybody by. Just picked an awful spot to do that.
I'm not sure there's a worse spot on the racetrack to try and do that than right there. You're already on the bottom. You're so many laps down at this point. He's 26 down. There is a pit access road right at the entrance of turn 3. I'm not sure. I'm not sure with that one. I'm really not. Heartbreak for, I mean, like, the 24 Nick Olson nowhere to go. He took a heck of a shot. Gabe Wood wound up on his side up against the outside wall. Vargas already hit the wall off 4. He just did it again with that wreck. I mean, a lot of guys that really probably shouldn't have been involved in anything right there got involved in it, and Justin Malillo about got run over coming off turn 4. Dakota Curtis all but hit him coming off 4, checking up for the crash.
A lot happening right there, and we'll get at least a word from the perspective of David Shieldhouse. David, I'll just simply ask you what happened there off of turn number 4.
27 was in front of me, and then he wasn't. I never touched him. So I don't know if he got the grass or what, but yeah, he was there, and then he was gone.
Oh, so he disconnected, like an internet issue?
Well, no, he wasn't in front of me anymore. So you tell me. You're up there with the great view. All I could see is out of this little porthole in this super late model. I mean, we caught him in a bad spot. I was trying to figure out where to go. I probably should have followed Raj because he was trying to stay low. But, I mean, he went around after I went past him. I never got a contact on my screen, so I don't know if he caught the grass or what. I think he was trying to do the right thing, but then I think he didn't. I don't know.
At least from what we could see. Well, it looked like y'all made contact. I could see kind of where it wouldn't have registered on your end, but it definitely did on his end. Not that makes you at fault in any way of that. He kind of checked up in a really precarious spot there. So not assigning blame at all, but it looked like at least the contact affected his car, not yours there.
Well, I already got a little right front damage from when Vargas had his little thing. We'll see how they call this thing. I mean, I got some comments I can make about things I've been hearing about wrecks being caused without blame assigned to it. But we'll just hold our breath and see what they do here. It's been a fun run so far. I had higher hopes for tonight than what we've seen. 40% of the way through this race, and 90% of it's been under caution. Disappointing, but you'll have that in these deals.
All right, David, well, we'll let you get back behind the wheel and see if you can't move up 3 more spots.
Oh, they just gave me the caution.
What? That's not right.
What?
Yeah, here we go.
I'm sorry, but really?
I mean, David, your reaction?
Disappointed, but not surprised.
All right, well, David's got a lot of work left to go, and we will let him get back after it. But yeah, I don't know, Jacob. That I don't know if there's much that David could have done to prevent that from happening.
Don't be in the racing line, I guess.
I don't know. I mean, it kind of reminds me of a race I was calling last night. You know, a car was well off the pace and kind of tried to pull out of the way and affect the finish. And I don't know. I
think that's a little bit different, though, just because they were running at Daytona that was coming off turn 4. You have a mile of paved road on the inside of the racetrack to get out of the way. You don't have a lot of room here to get out of the way unless you go up to the wall, which he was already on the bottom of the back straightaway. So that would have been problematic if he went up to the top in the corner. And you have the grass on the inside, so you can't go there. I just think the best option, and maybe Massey didn't think of it, was the access road for pit road. Go down there, go onto the apron, and just get out of the way. You're already 26 down. The penalty has been withdrawn. So David Schildhaus, he was able to talk himself out of that, which I think is the right call. I don't think that falls on David Schildhaus at all. That's just wrong place, wrong time. And I mean, that's insane how he called that. Did he say, yeah, it's probably going to get put on me? I don't know.
Well, regardless, Schildhaus, a little bit of damage there, but it ultimately is allowed to keep his position. So at least from what I think is happening, there will be no assignment there of cause. The penalty was withdrawn from Schildhaus, but it looks like there will be no further call made for that incident. So, hey, Jacob, I thought I'd just remind you we're almost halfway.
Only, right? We're only almost halfway.
A lot left to be decided here in the Monday Night Racing Pro Series as they work their way into the next move, Columbus restart zone. Bickford, since getting the lead, has not looked back. We'll see if he can keep it here, but Raja Karuth, hungry driver, performed so admirably here in real life in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Wants to do a couple of spots better. One car on the outside. Mike Play.
Oh, no, that's Bailey Turner up in the outside wall. Landon Huffman about sent Mike Clay to the arc, basically. Landon tried to go 4 wide, and there wasn't room, and Mike Clay got really sideways and lost a ton of spots. Landon, I think, lost a few as well, but kept his foot in it. That was very close. I'm not sure what happened with Bailey Turner. It was kind of 2 incidents for the price of 1 there, go to the 1.
All right, here on your screen, you see a battle taking place between Vargas and Adam Cabot for 7th and 8th. 2 drivers that have a fair amount of damage. I'm surprised that Adam Cabot may be a little bit slow. You can see the damage on the nose of his car when Vargas had his incident, and yet has done a solid job maintaining that track position. Vargas will fall on back. Right behind them, you see Brad Perez, one of the drivers who was put at the tail end of the field to start this race because of the registration penalty he was assigned, and he's done a solid job working his way up into the 9th spot.
Yeah, and he's pitted as well, so he's not going off full track position. Whoa! Belfont comes around. Ford Martin, Matt Stolnick. It's a parking lot off turn number 2. One car upside down, it's Ford. He got hit by Charlie Brown, and he's up on his lid. George Belfans Jr. was the first car I saw off pace, as well as the 21 of Max Kennan. It was contact between those two cars that kicked the whole thing off.
And actually, we'll have to keep it on here as Ford Martin just got a friendly little flip over from Noah Lewis. You can see the contact right there. Belfans slowing off the pace, gets turned. Martin gets flipped. We'll see it once again as we look at Ford Martin here.
Oh, Sabile. He makes it. Ford goes for the same hole and just gets clipped. And then Stolnick in there, and Charlie Brown, it just, somebody hit somebody, and it just flipped that 07 over. It wasn't a traditional flip, kind of like you're playing pool. You find the cue ball straight into the pile, and it just sends them everywhere. That's what happened with the 07. And how about good old Light McQueen getting him back up on all 4 wheels?
We'll see the official cause of caution going to be put on George Belfans Jr. right there, as it looks like he and Max Kennan made a little bit of contact, kind of initiated that entire sequence, and as they were trying to gather it back up, got hit by the 41 of Matt Stolnick. So Belfans tagged with that incident, his first one of the night. You get 2 incidents before you're parked. And I don't know if we've had anybody get parked because of 2 incidents in a single race this year, Jacob. If it has, it's been rare. It's maybe only happened once, but I don't think we've had that other than, I believe, yes, we did have it happen once. James Bickford last week. But aside from that, that 2-strike rule has been a deterrent so far here in Season 5.
Well, no, the Bickford thing was different. Bickford, that wasn't due to crashing. He had some sort of glitch or technical issue with the sim where he could not physically move his race car. No matter what he tried, no matter what they did, it would not go. So he requested a black flag so that way it would clear penalties for people and they wouldn't have to worry about trying to get by him. Then they cleared the disqualification, I think. I don't know how they did it. But him getting disqualified was something completely unrelated to the crash limit. That was just something where he had a technical issue, and they had to try and get him out of the way. And that's how he thought the best way was to handle that.
All right, so approaching, or at least getting close to that halfway marker here in the Tufco 100. I'd like to remind you that Battle Beaver has everything you need for your next professionally modded custom controller. With options for PlayStation, Xbox, GameCube, and much more, Battle Beaver has everything you need to elevate your gaming potential. Head to BattleBeaverCustoms.com to customize your controller. Use the promo code PODIUM. PODIUM for 10% off. Again, that is BattleBeaverCustoms.com. And, all right, so same leaders up front have not really changed aside from Raja Karuth, who seems like he's been picking off one spot here, one spot there, just about every restart we've had, and Jacob, he finds himself on the front row here for this one.
I like his chances. I know Bickford's been really fast, but I think once Raja is able to get clear of Schildhouse, he's going to set his sights on the back bumper of that 29. And I got the chance to see Raj race in person when these guys were back at Charlotte on Memorial Day weekend, saw the ARCA race, and I have never seen anybody drive a race car that loose and not junk it. That thing was dead sideways for the last, 30, 40 laps of that race? And he kept that thing in third spot, even after hitting the wall once or twice. It just every lap coming through turn 3 and 4. He's turning the wheel right to go left every lap. It was unbelievable to watch. I don't think he's driven a car looser than that. I at least hope he hasn't. Let's put it
I wouldn't want a car, that race car, that evil underneath me. But, man, what a spectacular job he did of saving it. And once the right rear was gone, I mean, the fact that he held that together and was still running up in the top 5 of that race, I mean, he did a spectacular job. Made a show out of it, that's for sure, and showed a great degree of car control. Not the first time we saw that out of him. He did that as well at Dover before parking in the NASCAR Xfinity race there. So definitely going to make it look good, or look good doing it. Is Raja Caruth able to restart on the outside here? David Schildhouse gets clear for second. It looks like Will Rogers right behind him. Have to talk about that 55 car. Slowly but surely working his way through the field. Has worked his way up to 4th. Schildhouse will slot in 5th as they get single file behind.
And Robbie Lyons has kind of snuck into the picture as well. He now sits in 8th. He was about a 10th to 15th place car all night long, and he's now creeping his way up toward the top 5. Charlie Brown has been given a black flag. He did not. He failed to slow down again for a wreck, and he has left the session. So Charlie Brown done for the night. He got 2 strikes, and pretty much you're done. So Charlie Brown parks the car. He is done for the night. He will finish in the 34th position. If Michael Massey can finish the race, Brown will be the one that receives that DoorDash last place gift card. Right now it belongs to Massey, but he is 24 down to Brown and is still on the racetrack and clicking off laps.
Do you wonder if we told Massey if about that he would park the car? I wonder, because I don't know if 1 point is worth a free meal on DoorDash. If it were me, I'd probably take the DoorDash meal if it was me.
Yeah, never know.
Well, we'll see what Massey does here, and he is 26 laps down. Brown disqualified from the race, scored in 34th, 2 laps down at the moment. This has been an interesting spot to be on the nose of Shane Van Gisbergen, as he's going to make it 3 wide entering turn 1. Has been carving his way through the field. As contact with Nick Olson is as he tried to get up there, and
we got trouble. Skralnick's around. He's down and hits the inside wall. He got turned by the 21 of Max Kennan. I think he bounced off of Clay and then got down into Kennan, and that turned him down to the inside wall just as Nick Olson was getting cut off by Shane Van Gisbergen. He has been a bull in a china shop tonight in that green, well, it says 11 on the side of the race car, 97 machine with the pink wheels. He has cracked the top 10.
And Nick Olson came over the radio and made clear his displeasure with that move. But I think for Van Gisbergen, he's not really going to pay too much mind to it as he has pulled away. You see Steve Affont there parked on the inside of turn, or the back straightaway. It looks like no caution flag going to be thrown for that. An incident off the racetrack.
He just got loose off the 2. Just we had heard this set up pretty loose on corner exit, and that time it bites the 11.
And you have to imagine here if having those tires for many of those who have not hit yet, how that is faring for them. As Van Gisbergen going to look the inside of Robbie Lyons here, try to get that 9th spot. Lyons perhaps playing his cards well, isn't going to battle SVG for that position. So he goes forward tonight. Then we'll see if he can kind of catch the draft. There's long straightaways here at Gateway, and there is draft. If you're close enough, it does make a pretty significant difference here in these cars.
And Brad Perez trying to get by Adam Cabot, the defending champ, and he's going to do it. Down the back straightaway, so move Cabot to 6th, and Brad Perez now into the top 5, right behind David Schildhouse. And Will Rogers is in the tire tracks of Raja Caruth right now, about a car length and a half, maybe 2 car lengths between Raja Caruth and Bickford. And then you've got Will Rogers right there on the back bumper of Caruth, just waiting for him to make a mistake, as we are, I don't know if we mentioned this, but we are indeed past halfway now.
Past halfway of this race, and I think Caruth right now, he carved his way through the field, got to the front quickly, and then is just kind of maintained behind Bickford, and I think that is intentional for Raja Caruth, just biding his time, saving a little bit of tire, trying to stay within reach of the leader, but I think he's just biding his time right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Rogers catches him, if maybe there's not much of a fight put out of that 13 seats machine to try and hold him off. But for now, we'll keep that spot over Rogers. Then you see behind him Schildhaus, Perez, and Cabot thrown under a blanket. Landon Huffman has been marching these last couple of laps as one of the fastest cars on the racetrack at this moment. He worked his way by TJ Majors just a lap or two ago or so, and has Robbie Lyons and Shane Van Gisbergen in his sights.
He's coming, and we knew it was going to be quick. I don't think we planned on him getting sent to the back, getting involved in that accident. So he's just been on the charge for most of this race now, trying to get back up to the front and try and get back up to Bickford. And right now, I think he's starting to smell it a little bit. That, all right, here we go. We're getting somewhere now. Closing in on Robbie Lyons for that 10th spot. We know him and Shane Van Gisbergen have had a little bit of issues so far. So you got to wonder if they're going to make contact. Meanwhile, Leighton Sabile is pitting.
Sabile from the 8th spot is going to come down and get service. So an interesting call here for driver 43. Gives up his spot running in the top 10. Is this a sign of things to come for these drivers who up front are probably starting to run towards the end of their fuel markers? You see Will Rogers right there. Not much of a fight put up by Raja Carruth. Rogers goes up to 2nd. Carruth back to 3rd. But is this a sign of things to come? Sabile going to come down. He's going to change 2 tires. No, he's going to change all 4. Which that's the other thing in these super late models. These 4-tire pit stops do tend to take a little bit longer than your traditional NASCAR pit stop. But Sabile comes down, gets 4 tires, and will come out. Will Rogers,
here we go.
The call, he's going to come to pit road. So
top
Roger
3 are all coming in
as well.
Oh, Raja missed it. Raja missed the access road. He's forced to stay out. He almost took out Brad Perez, who takes the lead away. And Raja Carruth is stuck in 2nd after he missed the access road and almost took out Perez. That's the one danger. These guys aren't used to making green flag stops here, not used to making the access road, and he about cost himself with that mistake.
Well, again, I love the call that if you know you're going to miss it, just go around. You can live to fight another day. So Carruth making sure this time he gets down to the speed necessary. But I actually love the call there. If you think you can't make it, don't risk it. Come back around. You can overshoot that and not incur any penalty. So loses a little bit of time there, but would have been worse if he tried to make it, slid through the grass. That would have been much worse. So a heads-up call there for Carruth. He realized he couldn't make it. Brad Perez will inherit the race lead as James Bickford also came down and is leaving pit road right now in the midst of that cycle.
Black flag, James Bickford. Black flag, James Bickford. He's been given a black flag on pit road exit. He has to come back into pit road. Big implications for James Bickford, looking for his 2nd win on the season, and he gets a black flag under green flag pit stops. He hadn't pitted up until this point. He gets a black flag. He had a pit box right at the end of pit road too. Not sure if it was speeding off pit road or if he stepped out on the access road, because he had that black flag before he got to the back straightaway. So my guess is he was on the loud pedal a little too early as Adam Cabot's pitting this time.
Cabot coming down to the pit lane, and this is really kind of almost the completion of this first cycle. Those drivers who had not pit up to this point, that's about as far as they can go on fuel. It will be interesting to see. I really like the position.
Trouble. Michael Massey, he's around in the grass again. He got loose all by himself, and now he just toes it. He was way down in the grass on the back straightaway. Sorry to cut you off there, Blake, but I wasn't sure if he was going to start rolling back up onto the racetrack to try and get it going or what, but no. He just gives up. He just toes it. He is still 12 down on Charlie Brown right now as far as points are concerned, or positioning on the racetrack. So he's closing in, but that's not going to help having to tow halfway around the racetrack for the driver of that 27.
No offense taken there, Jacob, but what I was going to mention was the spot that these drivers are in who had been pitting, who had a little bit more fuel. They've essentially trapped the rest of the field who stayed out through those cautions one lap down. So if a caution were to come out, they're in a great position to come down, get the service they need, be able to make it to the end on fuel, and everybody else would be trapped one lap down if a caution were to come out. So, oh, and when they may get it, TJ Majors into turn 1 gets hit by Garrett Smithley.
Caution's out. We got trouble off 2. That's Garrett Smithley around. He was inside the top 10. He was 8th, and he's now around. What happened to him? Oh, he just got loose and hit the wall on exit after I think the caution had already come out.
Yeah, he got a little too high, so we're going to see what happens here. He gets into the back of TJ Majors. He just gets a little bit high, nicks the right rear into the outside wall. And that is where the cause of caution comes out, with Garrett Smithley getting a little high there. You see right there, just obviously a miscommunication there on braking point. Majors lifts early. He tries to do everything he can to collect it, runs into the wall, and then off the corner, gets a little high, gets into the marbles, makes a little bit of a mistake, and unknowingly kind of gives himself and the rest of these drivers a benefit here.
See, and I think if we watch the caution lights, I'm pretty sure that caution came out for the 6 of Majors. You can see the caution lights already on before Smithley wrecks. So the Smithley spinning was just part of the problem, as we've got pit stops now for everybody else. For the most part down on pit road. We do have a couple that stay out, though. George Belfans Jr. and Max Kennan, as well as Noah Lewis, stay out. So those 3, it looks like, will stay out. And now a couple more. Steve Affont stays out. David Schildhouse, those that just pitted before the caution. Cabot, as well as some others. Raja Caruth, Sabile, Will Rogers, all going to stay out.
A lot going on here, as we want to remind you that Boosted builds a custom platform for your brand to sell your products. They take care of everything, pay nothing, and let them handle the rest. To get started with your online store, visit BOOSTED.BIZ today. Again, that is BOOSTED.BIZ today. A lot of discussion going out over the radios here, Jacob, about, of course, the Monday Night Racing rule. If you are a lap down, you can get a wave around after the caution, regardless of whether everybody on the lead lap pits. It seems like they waved him around a little prematurely. And so we will have to get a little bit of timing and scoring here sorted out to make sure everybody is in their correct position. Let's see if maybe we can't get a word here with Garrett Smithley, not in the Discord at the moment, so may not be able to catch up with him.
Well, how much for that? TJ's here, if you want to talk with him.
Well, sure, we can go for it.
Bickford's asking for another wave around. He already got one, though. I'm not sure if he can get another. If he does, it'll put him back on the lead lap. If he cannot get that other wave around, though, then he's going to be still one lap down and will need another caution. He is the only car one lap down now. So he would get the free pass if another caution were to come out. So it sounds like you get one wave per caution, so he will not get waved again. The only guy that will is the 27 of Michael Massey, because he had internet issues. Just a little exclusion to the rule there for that.
All right, well, we've caught up with TJ Majors. TJ, what happened there getting into turn 1? TJ, you got a copy? All right, we'll see if in a couple of moments we can get a word here with TJ. Perhaps a little bit of a mic issue there. But yeah, so now we're kind of in a situation here. They're trying to sort out everything that's going on with timing and scoring. I believe I'm actually hearing that TJ Majors may have had
he'd go bye-bye.
Yeah, he had a connection issue, so he is, I think, in the midst of falling out of the server right now, so no connection issue right there.
Okay, so it sounds like timing and scoring is good. I think they just needed to sort like one or two things out, but they're good. A couple of folks getting sent to the back, I'm assuming for passing some different people, I don't know, but basically it's all the people that pitted before the caution. So Shieldhouse, Cabot, Will Rogers, Sabile, Raja Caruth, Robbie Lyons, Bickford, Clay. Basically anybody that got the wave around, they get EOL to the back of the field, and that is that. Tough break for TJ Majors, though, having to fall out, so hopefully he's able to get back in and get his laps back. But we are at 29 to go here as they get to the stripes, so this is going to be crucial for TJ to get back in as quick as he can and get a couple of cautions so he can get his laps back. Otherwise, he's going to be in some trouble as we're a lap to green.
All right, so we'll see if Majors can get back going. That would be my luck. My pick falls out internet-wise, so that would be my luck. But nevertheless, a lot to sort out here in these last few moments here in the Tufco 100. When we get the restart here, it'll be 28 laps to go. It is cycled through to where George Belfans Jr. and Max Kinnon, who, mind you, that was a caution when those two made contact, now sit on your front row. Noah Lewis, Gabe Wood, Brian Boris Cook rounds out your top fives. So some new names here at the front of the field at Worldwide Technology Raceway. We'll take you through to the end as they approach the next move, Columbus Restart Zone. 94 of George Belfans Jr. He's been close a number of times this year. Can this be the night? Green flag in the air.
We've got one around. Steve Lafont got run over by Adam Cabot way in the back of the field. Lafont is still sitting there now. He's beginning the roll as the field is already through turn 2. They are 2 and 3 wide off the corner. How about Gary Sexton? He's now in the top 5. A lot of shuffling. Here comes Gabe Wood. They are 3 wide, about 3 rows deep down into 3.
As Sabile was taking a venture through the grass.
Kennan around into Vargas, Brian Boris Cook, Bailey Turner, Landon Huffman, Presley Sora, Ford Martin, they are still reckoned. Seth Eggert, Justin Malillo, Will Rogers spins for good measure. We've got half the pack crashed in turn 4 after contact between Noah Lewis and Max Kennan in the middle of turn 3.
And that looked like it originated in that battle for second. It was contact between Max Kinnon and Noah Lewis. And there is just such a funnel effect here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Brett Baldock got a huge amount of damage out of that. Contact right there with the 95. Kinnon gets tagged by Ryan Vargas. And you see, again, just it kind of funnels off of turn 4. Not a lot of room to go. And a tough luck there for Max Kinnon, who does have a win in his back pocket. Well, you see the aftermath there. Huffman, Sora, Caruth kind of piles in, but not too significant damage right there. Bailey Turner, more involved in that one.
That was big. Maybe not a lot of damage in that one, but certainly a lot of cars getting involved in that one. And just Landon, nowhere to go. There you see 98, another strong car. Devin Henry piles in. Raja Caruth gets a piece. Stalnick piles in to the back of Leighton Zabile. Basically, if you were outside the top 6, you were in that crash. That's how big it was.
Let's see if maybe we can't get a word from Max Kinnon. It was great to talk to him last week. Let's see if we can catch up with him here. Max Kinnon, running second there. Kind of walk us through what happened there to you in the middle of 3 and 4.
Well, we got like 25 to go, and I had a runoff too, and I saw Gabe behind the 95 duck it low, so I knew that the 95 was going to drive it down into 3 hard, so I drove it down in there also just to try to get clear because I knew he'd slide up. But then I had nowhere to go. He slid in my left rear, and I was along for the ride there. Sorry if anyone else is caught up in that. There's nothing I could really do. I just got run over, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't really say there was much that you could handle right there. But I guess this is why that win back at Texas is so important. you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not worried. I just want to. I'm trying to find consistency. I had a bad run last week, and I'm just. We'll see if we can get a top 10 out of this. The way this race is going, anything can happen, you know.
We'll see. I know a lot of time left here in M&R. We've seen a lot of late comebacks, so we'll let you get back to it. Thanks for joining us here.
Yep. All right. See you guys.
And Max Kennan right there, a winner so far in the first season of Monday Night Racing. A mechanic, former mechanic for Kyle Busch Motorsports. And see if he can get back going here in just a moment. Looks like lights are off on the pace truck as they work their way towards turns 3 and 4. Belfans, Wood, Perez, Sexton, and how about Shane Van Gisbergen? We know he's been willing to make some moves here in this one. He's up towards your top 5. You have Nick Olson right behind him. They weren't very happy with each other earlier in the race. And Vargas got a lot of damage in that last wreck. He's still up here in 6th.
He's still limping around.
A lot of names up here at the front. Pace truck is off. George Belfans Jr. will get him going. Green flag in the air. And we are going once again here from Worldwide Technology Raceway. 24 laps to go.
Yeah, how about Brad Perez taking second? Whoa, SVG misses the corner. That sends Gary wide. He turns down into Ryan Vargas. They are 3 wide trying to get around that one machine. Big stack up. How about 4 wide? Here comes Adam Cabot with Raja Karuth all over the back bumper. Still 3 wide down into turn 3.
Not sure if they can make that move. As one car on his side, Presley Sora up against the outside retaining wall, riding it on that 5-hour energy sign. Caution flag is out as Presley Sora took a ride there on the outside wall after contact that looked like with the 45 of Dakota Curtis.
Yeah, and then Mike Clay gets into the Curtis as he was slowing up after the caution. That's what sent that 88 around. Seth Eggert may have also gotten a little piece of it as well, but I just looked up and saw the roof of the 98.
Man. Yeah, I mean, we're looking at 1 3-wide battle, and there's another 4-wide battle, and there's cars in the fence. It's kind of hard to keep track of everything that's going on here. Again, it's not been a good night here, Jacob, for the winners so far this year. Anthony Alfredo not able to make it out. Sora involved in that one. Max Kennan just escaped an accident. So if you're a previous winner, again, you kind of have a cushion to play with. You're not, you have that win to fall back on, but man, it has been a rough night trying to gain some consistency towards the playoff surge.
Yeah, that's man, I just, we're running out of laps at this point, and for the guys at the front, it's really starting to get urgent now. And if you're on the back and you're fast, you have to just fly through this field here, because you're assuming that the caution is going to come at any second. So you have to gain as many spots as you possibly can so you don't wind up deep back in the field.
Looks like TJ Major is able to load back in at this moment. So he will reconnect after having some technical issues here late in the going. We'll catch up with Presley Sora. Presley, a lot happening there in 3 and 4, and all of a sudden we saw you up against the fence.
Yeah, it looked like Dakota just went straight in a left-hand turn, so I'm not really sure why, but it doesn't really surprise me given this race because everybody's kind of been bouncing off the walls like pinballs. But I don't know, I'm out of tires, so that's my quick repair, so I just gotta send it at this point. I was fast too early, and then I pit and making my way forward, and then Garrett no-lifted TJ, and then we've just kind of had a disaster since. So I don't know. I'm going to send it. Hopefully I still get a top 10. I'm going for that regular season title still, so I got a little buffer, but not that much.
All right, well, you got a long ways to go to get that done. We'll see if you can make it happen. That I Love Jerky machine.
Yep, love jerky.
Love some jerky. Would love to make up some ground here in this next little while. He's right now in a 28th is what timing and scoring shows Presley Sora. And so if he's going to get a top 10, he's going to have to pass a lot of race cars to make that happen. As far as drivers falling out, we really haven't had too many. It looks like, oh no, Brad Perez.
Yeah, he fell out.
Yeah, he was running in second, and looks like he just fell out.
Oh.
So, been a tough night for some drivers in that Charlotte area. As Brad Perez running in second, looks like he has not fallen out yet, but has not reappeared in timing and scoring. So, tough break there for Brad Perez. Majors has reconnected. Michael Massey still running 27 laps down, and Charlie Brown is out 30 laps down. So, still just about everybody we started this race with is back up here. That's going to slot Gabe Wood into second on this restart. So Bell fans will get away. Green flag back out. Now SVG and Gabe Wood side by side.
Trouble, Sora and Mike Clay in the back of the pack. Caution's out. They got to the start-finish line, and Presley Sora got run over by Mike Clay, and then Mike Clay got hooked as the 98 came back from the inside wall, and we make it 500 feet, and the caution's out.
Let's see what happened there. Sora slowing up for it. We just heard from him. Wanted to get a top 10, and we'll see it happen once again. This is Dakota Curtis's view. Man,
George Belfans Jr. is getting pretty lucky right now, I'll tell you that.
I was about to say,
upside down, and he's still leading.
Yeah, I mean, he was upside down. He's still got a little bit of damage on that car.
He hasn't used the fast repair yet. This is unbelievable.
One of a few who haven't used that yet. Heck, why don't we catch up here with George, see if we can't get a word with him. All right, George, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, kind of tell us what you're thinking, what's your mindset here these last couple of laps. You've had the lead, and it's kind of been easy street up here for you. How are you going to hold off a hungry Shane Van Gisbergen, Gabe Wood, Robbie Lyons behind you?
I don't have the speed as far as just even talent goes. I don't have the tires, so I'm playing a strategy game, hoping to maybe get myself into the playoffs here. And I got your brother spotting me, and we're talking strategy, and we're working it. We're good to go on fuel, so you know, if we get a couple green white checkers, we're good to go here. So we'll see what we can do. Hopefully, you know, if we do get a long green flag run here, not give up too many spots because of tires. But you know, everybody's got 20 lap better tires than I have, and we made the bed. Now we got to lay in it.
All right. Well, again, I won't play bias here, but with my brother spotting. But good luck.
Appreciate it.
All right. So we were talking to him up until he works his way into the restart zone. So we'll let George Belfans Jr. get that complete as he launches out of the next move, Columbus restart zone, green flag in the air. And let's see how long he can hang on. Not confident in the speed, but he's had that track position. That's been the key so far.
How about Gabe Wood in that third spot? He has really shown up here on this inside line as, whoa, Adam Cabot and Razak Caruth banging door handle to door handle off turn number 2. Look at SVG. He's dropping down to the bottom. He's got a problem. He's pitting. Shane Van Gisbergen is pitting. He has a black flag. He jumped the start.
Drama and implications here at the front of the field. Shane Van Gisbergen given a black flag as he pulls low into pit road, gonna end his bid for a win in this one. Still racing hard behind them, side by side, Robbie Lyons. Oh, Smithley, a huge block on Raja Caruth into 3.
Landon Huffman about wound up in the outside wall coming off turn number 2. He was sawing at the wheel, but he's able to hang on to it. He's got James Bickford right behind him. Here comes the 24, even though it's the 55. As now Cabot's around. Cabot into the outside wall. Oh, got hit by Bradmore's Cook, and Noah Lewis piles in. He collects Dakota Curtis, and the caution flag is out. Adam Cabot did the same thing that Vargas did at the start of the race, and he winds up collecting the one of Gary Sexton and the 75. No, that's not the 75. Who is that? That's the 43 of Leighton Sabile.
And I think Smithley was upset at Raja Caruth. And yes, Smithley got spun under caution. After the caution came out, Smithley and Caruth made contact, and Smithley is not happy about it over the radio, and you can see not happy about it.
Raja apologizes, says he thought he held his line. I think it was... Oh. So what happened, yeah, right here. Boom. And Smithley says that's the third or fourth time that that's happened. A huge hit for Smithley. Smithley has already used his fast repair. Wow. And he has to pit here. He's going to bring it to pit road. That's likely going to end his shot to win tonight and lock himself into the playoffs.
Well, yeah, Smithley had a meatball, so he has to pit.
Here's Noah Lewis.
Yeah, this is Noah Lewis. This is after that incident off of 3 and 4. Cabot got into the wall, kind of like Ryan Vargas did. Oh, my goodness, what a hit.
Did he unplug the brake pedal? He never slowed down, right?
He clearly did not see Cabot parked there. I mean, middle of the track. It's dark. Cabot has a black car scheme.
Oof. All right. Well. Okay.
And I think that's going to put Noah Lewis. He is trying. Actually, Lewis right now going 2 miles an hour on pit road. He's trying to make it to his pit stall. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it.
So EOL for Raja Caruth for wrecking the 15 under caution. So Raja Caruth now drops to the back of the field. He will not win tonight.
A lot changing up here at the front. So you had Van Gisbergen, who got penalized on that restart. You had Brad Perez. His game crashed when he was running in second. Smithley and Caruth now. Smithley because of damage and Caruth penalized after wrecking. You had Adam Cabot, who was running up front. He was the cause of that caution. And somehow, out of all that, George Belfans Jr. is still your leader.
I don't know. I really don't know. Shane Van Gisbergen, with the pit stop that he had to make, he is 24th. He still has a shot, I guess. The whole field wrecks again.
I guess nobody's really truly out of this thing. I think Lewis is actually out. I believe Smithley is actually out because I don't think he has another fast repair, and he's still down here fixing that meatball flag.
Right.
Perez is trying to get back on the lead lap, so technically I believe he's back on the lead lap at this point.
Yeah, the problem is he's 9 seconds back on the field as they're coming into 3 and 4, so I'm not sure he's going to make the tail end of the field here before we get the green flag.
Well, I don't know. That might, honestly, tonight, the way things have gone, that might be the safest spot to be. Either that or up front, where George Belfans Jr. brings them in the next move Columbus restart zone, green flag in the air, and another good launch for Belfans. Gets out by about a car length over Robbie Lyons. So 1-2 clear into 1 and 2. Will Rogers trying to hold on for third.
Great run for Robbie Lyons now in the second spot. Caution, they're wrecking again. It's Raja Caruth who goes around. He tried to go 3 wide, and this one's just a mess because Adam Cabot gets blocked to the grass by Michael Massey, who is 25 laps down, and then he comes up the racetrack and swerves into Raja Caruth, who's trying to pass him on the outside. I don't get it.
There's been a lot of it's been a lot of these wrecks around with drivers who are in the back but feel like they shouldn't be there. We've had a number of those. SVG earlier, I think Cabot's been involved in one or two. Caruth honestly did. I mean, he's just on the top side rolling. He didn't do anything wrong there. But it seems like time and time again, we've seen a lot of drivers who were running up front. They get put to the back of the field because of a penalty or a wreck or what have you. And there's been a lot of those type of wrecks, you know, them trying to make it 3 wide, 4 wide, being really aggressive on these restarts. And it's been tough to get going here in the back of the field as a result.
Yeah, yeah. I think we're getting 1 to green here this time by, so
we are. The lights have gone out. So we'll have 8 laps to go when we get this restart.
Is there anybody you like here to win?
George Belfans looks like he is in the best spot because all he has to do is get a restart, get a little bit of a lead, and then kind of, you know, wait for him to crash and just hold pretty up there. I mean, Bickford basically did the same thing until we had that one long green flag run. He got his penalty, has never recovered from it, although he is in 12th. But yeah, it seems like if you're the leader, all you got to do is get a good restart, wait a couple seconds, and wait till the next one.
Still watch Landon Huffman and James Bickford, 10th and 12th respectively. They're not out of this yet, and the way we're going, we're using all 3 overtime, so they're not done by any stretch here.
I don't think anybody's out of it right now. If you're on the lead lap, you still got a chance at this thing. Green flag is out. Belfans, another great launch for that 94 machine. Lions, clear for second. Rogers, though, gets clear for third. He'll look low on Lions, not able to make it work. Down there near the rumble strips is Rogers, and how about Nick Olson, who's been hanging around quietly, right now runs in 4th.
Yeah, Olson got involved in one of those early wrecks, but he has clawed his way back. As here comes Leighton Sabile as Will Rogers is going for second on Robbie Lyons. He's got the inside line. He's got all the room in the world. Put back 55 in position number 2, coming to 7 to go.
Will Rogers shot out of a cannon there, looking for second, looking for more. He'll go low once again on Lyons. And Will Rogers looks to have a lot of speed in that 55 car. They're going to be side by side as Belfans. Gets loose off the corner. 3 wide for the lead.
I can't believe he held on to that car. Olsen to second. Here comes Sabile down on the bottom. Gabe Wood has to check up. He gets hit by Showhouse. And now Landon Huffman gets turned hard into the outside wall. And we are under caution with 7 laps to go. He got turned by Bailey Turner and then overcorrected it into the outside wall. And Landon's taken off. He is unhappy. He is flying through this field down the front straightaway right now. I think he's going after the 5. He is still going.
I think you're right. I think
mean, I've never seen him this mad unless he's going after somebody.
I mean, he hasn't slowed down a whole lot. Yeah,
here he comes. Now he backs off.
Oh, no, he doesn't. He's going to turn him under caution.
He hit him. He hit him. They wreck under caution. Landon is furious with Bailey Turner. And Landon Huffman has been disqualified. He's gone.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. A little bit of...
I mean, you saw it coming. Landon said that he thought he had one of the best shots to win tonight. And man, he's just... I get the frustration. I really do.
I think Devin Henry just had a neat little point. You know, I don't think it's a good thing that that Huffman was spectating Bowman Gray this weekend. I think he may have learned a thing or two in Winston-Salem on Saturday night.
Yeah, he is furious. Bailey Turner given the EOL for causing the caution. And whew, wowza.
right. Well, through all of that, it is not going to be George Belfance Jr. who is your race leader. He lost it off the corner. Will Rogers now controlling the top spot. Lights are still on the pace car. So I believe when we get going back, assuming we get the 1 to green this time, and we will have 3 laps to go. And it will not eat into one of our 3 overtime attempts.
Yeah, looks like not quite a natural green-white checker either. So this'll be it. We either make it through this, or we go to overtime.
You know, I think he actually just caught up. Let's see here. I'll get a quick word here from Landon Huffman before we go green. A quick talk here, Landon, before we go to green. What happened there?
This league is really bad. Like, really, really bad. It's a waste of my Monday night every time I try to run it. There's like maybe 4 good drivers and the rest are awful. I hate it for Ford because I like Ford and I like Josh, and I don't know. It's really bad. They probably won't allow me back, but I'm not coming back because it's just not even fun. I mean, I don't even know what. Bailey was, I guess, mad because I blocked him, and I gave him room on entry, and he just killed me. So I'll just full throttle him and be done with this godforsaken shit.
All right, well, there you have it right there. The words from Landon Huffman. We apologize for the language. As Will Rogers, Nick Olson, your top 2, work their way into the next move Columbus restart zone. Green flag is out, and Will Rogers able to scurry away here, side by side now for second.
Here comes Robbie Lyons on that inside line. Leighton Sabile not done yet. How about David Schildhouse up on the outside? He has been in the top 5 since the drop of the green flag. As here comes the 43 of Sabile to the bottom. He looks, he can't quite get on Robbie Lyons. They are 5 wide further back, still side by side for second.
Side by side back there. If we get to the white flag, which will not be this time. 2 laps to go. Rogers clear, but there is a Hornet's Nest back there for second. Lyons trying to hang on. Olsen has the top.
Still side by side, and this is what Will Rogers wants to see. How about Schildhouse? He's going to look up the middle, 3 wide, just doesn't have room, and Lyons is sideways to the grass. He's off the racing surface. He's going to lose all of those spots. He's going to lose his shot to win this race. Nick Olson in second. Here comes Schildhouse. He sends it to the bottom as they're coming to the white flag.
Again, all several car lengths behind Will Rogers. Off at turn number 4 for the final time. White flag in the air, so we will see it through to the end. We'll go all the way to the checkered. 1 more trip around the Worldwide Technology Raceway for Robbie Lyons, as a lot is going on behind him for those 2nd, 3rd, and 4th spots.
Will Rogers only has 1 MNR win in his career, looking to add to it here tonight as he comes down into turn number 3. He is clear by 10 car lengths as Schildhouse looks to the inside for second. Can't get to Nick Olson coming through turn 4.
Not going to be enough for Olsen or Schildhouse. Is clear and set home. Will Rogers, for the 2nd time in his career, is a Monday Night Racing Pro Series winner as he checks out here in the last 3 laps. Will Rogers for Space Station Gaming goes to victory lane, and he will lock himself into the Monday Night Racing playoffs.
We made it.
We did, and Rogers made the move when he needed to. I mean, George Belfance Jr. looked to be in control of this race, got a little bit loose, but Rogers, on those short runs that we had, was able to kind of make sure he got a spot each and every time, and slowly found himself at the front of the field. Well deserved there for driver 55. And oh man, I'm just trying to do a burnout.
That's not going to kick anybody out of the playoffs, too, because Rogers was 9th coming in. The cutoff is 13th. Yeah. So with that win, that doesn't bump anybody out. So he's still looking pretty good. And for somebody that was on the cutoff line, Brad Perez had a good run going. Problem is he finishes 18th tonight. Ryan Vargas, a little bit better finish. He finishes 6th. But the guys on the outside, though, Gabe Wood finishes 11th. He was just 3 points out. Colin Fern didn't race tonight, remember? He's in 7th. So Gabe Wood's going to wind up above the cutoff line here, it looks like.
You see right there your final results, the full field rundown. Rogers, Olsen, Schildhouse, your top 3. We'll definitely hear from Will Rogers. Sabile, an incredible rebound for him. Penalized late or put in the back of the field, late finishes in 4th. Shane Van Gisbergen was a part of it as well, made a lot of aggressive moves to get up to 5th. Ryan Vargas started the night, and you can see why he was confident. He was able to get 6th, 7th to George Belfans Jr., 8th was James Bickford. After the black flag, a solid recovery for him. 9th, Max Kinnon. And how about Presley Sora? He said he wanted a top 10. He got it.
Gabe Wood finished in that 11th spot. Adam Cabot 12th. Gary Sexton, not too bad. P13 for him. Josh Slate, a good run, finishes 14th. Matt Stolnick 15th. Raja Karuth rebounded to finish in that 16th spot after getting sent to the back. Ward Martin 17th. Brad Perez 18th. Brian Boris Cook 19th. And Bailey Turner in 20th.
21st was Justin Malillo, Steve Affont in 22nd. Brett Baldeck, hard hit late, but ends up in 23rd. Seth Eggert, 24th. Devin Henry finishes in the 25th spot. 26th was Dakota Curtis. 27th was Mike Clay. Case Collenbach finishes in 28th. Heartbreaking there for Robbie Lyons, who was running up front there at the end. He ends up being the last car on the lead lap, finishes in 29th. Garrett Smithley, 13 laps down in 30th. Noah Lewis, 31st. Michael Massey, 32nd. TJ Majors, 33rd. Charlie Brown, 34th. We'll have to see with timing and scoring what happens there with Huffman. He was given a he was disqualified from the server. So we'll have to see who that DoorDash award is going to, if it was Charlie Brown after the 2 incidents or whether that's just a timing and scoring issue because he was disqualified from the server itself. It put Landon Huffman back there in 25th. So we'll see what changes with that. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and catch up with your race winner tonight in Will Rogers, who was in victory lane tonight. Will Rogers, for the 2nd time in your career, you're a Monday Night Racing winner. How does it feel this late in the going, this late in the regular season, to get that victory that locks yourself in the playoffs?
Oh, it feels pretty good. Glad we could get it done. And yeah, later in the season than I expected to have a chance to win. We've had an up and down one for sure. Some good ones, some bad ones, some very just average races. But this one, I just felt like I didn't really know exactly what I had going into it. I maybe did 15 minutes of practice and then not a great qualifying lap, but just tried to keep my car clean, stay out of the mess. And that was kind of hard to stay out of inevitably for everybody tonight. But somehow made it through clean, did not have to take a quick repair. Took my tires halfway with the other leaders, and at that point I knew I was definitely in a good position, and we just had to let it play out. And at the end, I think I was the first car on the newest tires and was able to take advantage. And hey, here we are, winners.
All right, Will. Well, it is late in this regular season. You only have 2 more races to go before this playoff. Anything that you can kind of look forward to over these next couple of weeks to get ready for that chase for a championship?
I think better cars and better track combos. I think we're going to a lot of places that suit more of my ability on the sim and also kind of prevent some of that messy racing, I guess, we've had early this season with maybe bad or not great track and car combos mixed with some experienced and a lot of inexperienced iRacers and such. So I think going to these other tracks is going to suit the guys that really know their stuff on the sim. So I'm not saying that I'll be one of the ones that rise to the top, but I think I'll have a chance to at least be part of it. And who knows, maybe that's what's going to help me make it through these playoffs and be a second Monday night or 2-time Monday Night Racing champion.
All right, Will, we will let you go, but nevertheless, a nicely driven race tonight. You're fast when you need it to be, and of course, get that all-important win to lock yourself into the playoffs. Congratulations on your victory tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
As Will Rogers victorious tonight, gets his second career Monday Night Racing Pro Series win presented by Interstate Batteries tonight in the Tufco 100. I believe we will change course here a little bit and hear from Garrett Smithley here in just a moment, who was involved in that incident. He's caught up with Jacob Hitz.
Garrett, really fast car tonight. Take us through that incident there with Raja Karuth.
Yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised. It's something about the super late models on these big tracks I really seem to really like, and I have my head wrapped around these cars and had a lot of fun tonight. I thought we had the strategy and got caught up in a crash earlier, and then fought back, missed some wrecks, and I felt like we were in the catbird seat. I felt like we were about 5th place, and we were better than everybody in front of us, and thought we had a shot at the win, and racing hard with Raja, and he was racing relatively clean up until then, and then caution comes out, and for some reason he dumped me into one. So he came over the radio and said sorry, but it doesn't really help when you've gotten wrecked by him 3 or 4 times the past couple seasons. So definitely frustrated, but happy that we could show a little bit of speed in our trophy tractor super late model. And man, I just need some luck in this league. This season has gone worse than last season, and we got to turn it around somehow.
Right now, looking at points, still on the outside, looking into the playoffs. Is this going to change how you race Raja Karuth in these last 2 races going into the playoffs to try and get yourself in a position to be in the top 13 and race for a championship?
Yeah, I haven't even looked at points. I missed the first race of the season because I had some obligations, and then I've been able to catch all the rest of the races just here and there. I raced in Vegas last week and raced in Nashville a few weeks before that. Fortunately, I've got some friends all around the country that have some sim rigs, so I've been able to do that, and I think I'm home for the foreseeable future for these races. So I'm not going to race any different. I'm going for wins. Certainly not going to give that 13 car any slack. I will give him credit for apologizing after. That's something he hasn't done in the past. So appreciate that for what it is. But, at some point, you just got to give respect out here. And I've always raced him with respect. I feel like I've raced most of these guys with respect. I know I got into TJ earlier, but felt like he lifted early. Hate that his day got ruined, just because of contact. But it is what it is. These things are hard racing. And I'm here for wins. I don't anticipate making the playoffs. I anticipate going for wins these next 2 weeks, but it's wins from here on out, no matter what happens.
Garrett Smithley, 30th place finish tonight after contact under caution. Thanks for talking to us, Garrett.
Thanks, guys.
All right, so we appreciate, yeah. We appreciate Garrett Smithley catching up with us there after a rough evening for himself, but we'll move forward here to someone who fared a little bit better tonight, and that was Nick Olson. A lot going out there on the track, Nick, but you find yourself in the second position. Just kind of talk us through your night as a whole, because I know it was a long evening out there for everybody, but you come out on the better side of it.
Yeah, and for a while there, it wasn't looking that way. We kind of got lucky when all the leaders came in to pit under green, and then we caught that caution. Got a couple of spots through that, restarted top 5, and we were pretty much good on fuel after that caution flag pit stop. So played the track position game a little bit, and it paid off. But unfortunately, we got knocked back there because of that incident with the lap car. I think Vargas also got a piece of that, but we took our fast repair early, so we were trying to just take care of the car, and slowly but surely it got us to the front, got a little piece of that wreck in 3 and 4 with Noah Lewis, and we were able to stay out, and that was the difference for us right there. But I mean, when there's that many cautions, that much wrecking, it's a lot of luck as well.
Yeah, a little bit plays into that as well. Nick, we appreciate the time. Thanks for catching up with us, and a nice solid job here finishing up in P2.
I appreciate it, guys. Just want to thank everybody at Grit Motorsports Marketing and Kyle Dagger, everybody over there. And first podium in Monday Night Racing. Hopefully we can make this a sort of a habit, but a long way to go.
Definitely a long way to go. Only two races rather to go into that playoff. And Nick Olson, who was on the outside looking in, certainly did himself some favors trying to get in at least on points if it were to come to that. But Jacob, I believe you caught up with our third place finisher tonight, David Schildhouse.
A third place finish that David has been chasing after this entire season, just looking for those good finishes. They're coming down the stretch. 2 races to go to the playoffs. Right now you're in. But correct me if I'm wrong, you're looking for any points you can find these last 2 races now.
Yeah, Jacob, tonight was a big night for the Xyloware Super Late Model. We really needed a good points night. Hell, I would have taken a win. And I thought we were in a good position to get that. Just not enough green flag laps. You know, the last time I talked to you guys, I was remarking about the low percentage of green flag laps, and it didn't really change throughout this event, which is disappointing. But, I mean, all I can do is be proud of the run to come from 30th after I pitted and, you know, got sent to the back because of the jumbling. To come from 30th and finish 3rd is pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. Had a great little battle there at the end. We just needed more laps with our fresher tires. We were rolling. And but in the big picture, 3rd place points pays pretty good, and we definitely needed that to help, you know, bolster our position. A win fixes everything, but it wasn't in the cards tonight. Big points night. That's the next best thing, I guess.
Well, congrats on the top 3, David. We'll see you next week from Charlotte in the Xfinity cars. Good luck.
I appreciate it, and big shout out to everybody who supports this program, starting with Xyloware, TobyChristie.com, Advanced GG, Next Level Racing, and SRDSetups.com, the Charlotte Phoenix, and everybody at Twitch.tv/Schildhouse. Put on a good show for them tonight. 3rd place, hopefully that's the start of more momentum. After 7th place last week, this 20 car is coming to life.
David Schildhouse, your 3rd place finisher tonight from Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. A wild, wild night here, Blake.
It was, and there's not many more left when you think about how much shorter this regular season is. I know a number of drivers talking about Xfinity at Charlotte coming up next week. Then you get one more chance, trucks at Michigan, and well, guess what? That's your only opportunity to make the playoffs. And like you were saying earlier, not much of a change with Will Rogers in terms of the overall playoff picture winning tonight. So that consistency we talked about, getting those finishes, having finishes like what Nick Olson and David Schildhouse just had, going to be oh so important here over these next couple of weeks.
There's no doubt about it. And dare I say we get closer to normal-ish combinations? Xfinity cars at Charlotte, trucks at Michigan. I'm really looking forward to those 2 races just because these guys have probably run them a lot. The racing's great with these track car combinations. The Xfinity cars at Charlotte, watching that race in person a couple of weeks ago was incredible. I'm hoping we do that in the daytime just so there's a little less grip and these guys are really fighting the racetrack the whole race. And then when the trucks go to Michigan, a couple of, last season was a fantastic race. And I think with the playoff cutoff being that race, it's just going to add to it. And we've really got 2, on paper, we're going to be 2 fantastic races coming up in these next 3 weeks.
I'm really interested to see Charlotte. I think it is developed in one of the more competitive mile and a halves that we have on the iRacing service right now. So really looking forward to see it. And a number of these drivers who have raced there in real life. We were talking about Raja earlier on in the night, and there's a lot of experience here in this field. I think that'll be a really, really good race as a result. But for us, that's going to do it all for us here at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. We appreciate you all watching along with us. For Ford Martin and Paul Sutton at Monday Night Racing, Josh Mendoza in Race Control, for Gary Sexton and John Theodore at Podium eSports, for our camera builder, Dougie Beard, our overlay builder, Michael Hall, for Nicholas Weatherby on social media, and for our crew on tonight's broadcast, our producer, Ryan Bauer, and my colleagues in the booth, Jacob Hitz. We, of course, look forward to seeing Kenneth next week. I am Blake McCandless saying so long tonight from the Worldwide Technology Raceway. We bid you farewell and congratulations to tonight's winner, Will Rogers, in the Tufco 100.